Hey, good morning guys, it's Rory here. I wanted to come today and make a short video for you regarding the trade war that's begun between the USA and China. I want to share with you a thought that this could potentially signal the beginning of a change in production for the American economy and how goods are produced, and a potential shift towards automated infrastructure investment, or investment in automated infrastructure rather, for the production of goods and services to meet demand in the American economy. So that's a bit of a mouthful. I just want to break down why I consider this to be a potential outcome. So first of all, I want to define, I read an article today that was discussing this and the fact that it's officially a trade war that's begun. Trump's put on $60 billion in tariffs toward the Chinese import market or export market to America. China makes up a huge percentage of the American market for their consumer goods. A lot of products and things are made and imported from China. And the reasoning or premise with which Donald Trump cited as the reason for this is that China's apparently taking heaps of advantage of American intellectual property, and it's apparently it's illegal, or there's some kind of, they're not respecting American intellectual property laws or something like that. So this is a move in retaliation to that. Another thing though to be aware of in the situation is that China holds a lot of American debt, so America is in a lot of debt to China because they actually give credit, or China gives all of its imports, or a lot of them, a large percentage of imports, on credit to the American economy. And so they hold a lot of American treasury bonds and dollars and stuff like that. And they're actually a large creditor to the American government, who's now in $21 trillion in debt or something like that, or more. So that's a point of interest. So anyway, my point is that, if this degradation of their trade relationship continues and tariffs increase to disrupt the price of consumable goods in America and the production sort of bubble they were in, where they were getting all these imports and living potentially above their means for their production potential for the consumers, this could spiral into a situation where China is no longer going to be exporting to America, and it could be a big problem because the American consumer market doesn't produce enough. America doesn't produce enough to supply its demand, if you know what I'm saying. They have to outsource it using debt. And so if they get in a situation where they no longer have access to use debt to import products, they're going to be in a sticky situation. So my point is that if you're America, the best way you could get out of this production sort of hole is to utilize your engineering pedigree and all of your great potential for leveraging IP and everything to really invest and develop automated infrastructure for servicing the demand in the economy. The problem I see, and I think that's what will happen. I mean, it's happening regardless of this Chinese war, but it would just potentially catalyze a kind of internal move towards automated investment in automation for production and etc. The problem is, I think though, is that should this relationship degrade to the point where debt gets in the discussion, which it already is, and the American economy sort of has to constrict, that would create a problem for actually being able to fund or sufficiently fund this highly, this very high sunk cost that's going to be required at the beginning of sort of a move towards an automation revolution in the United States for on-site production. So that's going to be a problem if the economy really does suffer like it's told to be, potentially in the line of on the track to be in the situation it's been to be in. It's really going to need offshore infrastructure or investment, and I think that Mybit really is the perfect solution to that, because it's all the things that we all know that it is, But having a new market available to sort of disenfranchised American consumers who are also working professionals, but the unemployment rate, as I've talked about, all these things correlating together and creating more of a situation where an asset manager role could really be a lucrative position, sort of like an Uber driver has become a position for certain people. But really, when you're talking about leveraging automated technology and the sort of the necessity that will be driving the American economy towards automation infrastructure, being an asset manager for being and being a sort of a point of access for lots of decentralized global investment in this revolutionary American automation revolution that could be incoming based on sort of global geopolitical trends and all these sort of things that are happening, with this crazy economic system. That could really be a great lucrative position for an American citizen to be in, and a really win-win-win situation. It will be great investment for people globally to be able to invest in these, American-made, great industrial automation revenue-generating assets. It'll be a great situation for the asset manager in America, helping, bring supply to the market that's in such demand, reaching, has been used to such a high level of consumption, which has been cut off, and being able to sort of bring to the picnic, some consumption goods, and then the American economy as a whole will win out of this. So it's so good. You don't need to get the credit, the debt in there. You don't need to do that. You can scale through organic investment and true non-fiat based investments that are not used. You don't have to inflate the currency. You don't have to do all these crazy things. At least you don't have to go the max with that. You can actually help with decentralized investments through Mybit. So that's an interesting discussion I was thinking could be emerging. I mean, yeah, it's all very good stuff. So let me know what you think. Follow the trade war. It's quite interesting, and I'll catch you later.